up, guys? So I'm finally gonna have some time to work on the car this weekend because I won't be too busy with school like I have been for the past month, and as well as I got a surprise at home. It's more car parts that we're gonna be using. By the time I get home, I'm about an hour away. It's like 9 in the morning right now. So when I get home, we're gonna start cranking away at the car. I'm gonna show you guys what's new, and hopefully we get some shit done. So let's get there. You know, I used to get like excited when I'd see my car, but now it's just depressing every time I look at it. All right, so like I said, I had a little surprise. Right here is my new lightweight flywheel, pressure plate, and clutch disc, all brand new that I just picked up for the car, because that had been the main thing holding me back from actually putting this together, aside from the intake manifold, of course. But with the new clutch and stuff, the pieces that I have there, I can obviously put the transmission onto the car, you know, bolt it all up and have it actually planted. I could get the axles in, the shifter linkage, put the wheels back on, have the car sitting and ready to drive until I find myself an intake manifold. I just picked up a new ECU, as well as I'll also need a wiring harness for the new ECU, because I believe it's an B20b, the 99 to newer Gen 1, because my old motor, the GSR, was a 96. So I'll need the new one to work for that. So anyways, I'm gonna open up these parts here and I'll show you what we got. All right, so here's the clutch kit. It's a 6-puck disc with a lightweight flywheel. I'm actually not too sure how much it weighs. It is quite a bit lighter than the one I had on it before. And then obviously a pressure plate. Comes with a new throw-out bearing, pilot bearing. It's got the alignment tool. I actually didn't know the pilot bearings are so big on these cars, because I used to have like the Audi and S4, and it was literally just like a really, really small bearing. So now that we have all this, I don't think I know the automatic flywheel bolts won't work, so I'm gonna have to get some manual ones, and I'll use those to put it together. Seeing as stores aren't actually open today, that means I can't go get the flywheel bolts that I need. So in the meantime, I'm probably just gonna put the throw bearing in my transmission that I have sitting right here, and possibly the pilot bearing as well, depending on how hard that is to take out of the motor. All right, so the nice new throw bearing is on there. This is the old one. This thing is filthy. Look at that. That is so bad. Also, the inside of my transmission is pretty dirty too, so I'm gonna clean that out because the outside's looking good. I gave that a nice wash a couple months ago. Next thing on the list would be the pilot bearing. So the pilot bearing on these, they go straight into the flywheel as opposed to the block, which I thought they do because that's how my last cars were. Anyway, it goes in on the back side of the flywheel, so I just flip that over, and then the pilot bearing will force itself into that hole there, right there in the middle. So let's put that in. All right, so it's as easy as that. You know, a couple bops with the hammer, but nice, spins good and freely, and it's in. But sadly, that's all I'm gonna be able to do for now because I just can't, I don't have the flywheel bolts. So this video is gonna pick up tomorrow. I'll see you then. All right, it's the next week, I think. But I remember I left off saying I couldn't work on the car anymore because I didn't have the flywheel bolts. So right now I'm on my way to the store to get some bolts to put into the flywheel, and then I gotta go get a new jack as well, because on top of not having the bolts, my jack wasn't working either. So even if I had the bolts last week, I wouldn't have been able to work on my car anyway. So we're just gonna go get that now, and then we'll head on our way. It's the only one they had. Oh, I'm walking to the wrong side of my car. So what? Yeah, they had the ARP ones. I think that's the only company that really makes like other flywheel bolts that aren't OEM. So now we're gonna go get a jack. All right, so we're back in the garage. Let's bang this shit out. I wanted to take a little time lapse of me putting it in, but I don't have my tripod here. So, you know, I guess I'll just use the power of editing. Alrighty, the new clutch, flywheel, and pressure plate is all in the car, and I have the transmission up ready to go in. I've never put in the transmission by myself before, so this is going to be a little bit of a struggle. But in that time where I just kind of like jumped whatever and did the thing, I actually went out and had to go get myself a new jack because my other one was broken, like I mentioned. I also got a new torque wrench because the torque wrench, where is it? It's down there. Because my first torque wrench was a 3/8 and I needed the 1/2 inch for the socket that I also went out and bought for the flywheel bolts because they weren't 17s, they're 19s now because I got the ARP ones. As well as I got 5 half-inch, oh sorry, I think they're half-inch like threaded bolts, whatever, for the transmission mounts, but none of them fit. So I'm gonna have to go back out again as well. But nonetheless, that's out of the picture. We're back in the garage now working on the car. So let's see if I can do this by myself. I don't know if I'll be able to. Oh my God. All right, so I just checked the details of the last clip I filmed, and that was filmed at 5 o'clock, and it's 6:12 now. So the transmission is in. It did just take me over an hour. It was a pain in the ass, to be completely honest. I don't want to have to do that again. But nonetheless, the top 2 bolts are in, and it's, you know, on officially. So I did have to take off the rear tranny bracket, or sorry, yeah, the tranny bracket mount, whatever you want to call it, post mount. But I'm gonna put that in right now. I didn't film any of it because it was mostly like a lot of the boring stuff, but a lot more of the car is complete. The axles are in, half shaft, of course. I got the shifter linkage set up. I finished mounting the motor in the car. It is kind of slanted. I realize now that I do need to get the EK post mount. That is the CRV one, but in the meantime, it'll be enough. It'll be enough for me to drive it, like not hard, just like around, you know, point A to point B type thing. Obviously the wheels are on. This is the first time the car has been on the ground in like months, to be completely honest. So, but that being said, the next thing for me to do, I believe, would be to find a wiring harness, because the one I have isn't the correct wiring harness, and it's the last piece of the puzzle. With the wiring harness, I'll be able to start the car and I'd be good to go. So I think what I'm gonna do is find a scrapyard, and then when I find the scrapyard, I will go see if I can find an Integra, like an LS Integra, and pull the wiring harness off of that. So that one would work on this car, because the B18B and the B20 are essentially the same. Just obviously they're not, but it's close enough, and the wiring harness will work. That's all I'm trying to say. So we're gonna go to the scrapyard. I don't know if that'll be today. I'm kind of tired because I did just finish working on the car. That's what I've been doing all day. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video, guys. So make sure you just like, subscribe, and you're back for the next one.